It gave birth to an entire genre of gaming, influenced competitors' design choices, and swept the entire gaming industry up in a frenzy of restricting storm circles. But is it any good in 2021? Created by a player unknown, widely renowned as an asset flip, a quick attempt at a cash grab by picking some objects from the Unreal store, slapping them together and trying to make them work, the Battlegrounds released on Steam in 2017. Despite the initial bad reaction, the game did fairly well in its first month of release with a peak of nearly 68,000 players, as people realised, hey, this game is kind of fun. And it only took the very short time of 6 months for the game to get over 1 million concurrent players. That's pretty good. Over the last 12 months, the game has been averaging around 180,000 concurrent players, so it's still pretty popular, right? Well, let's jump in and see how this game holds up in 2021. So to determine if PUBG is worth it today, we're going to look at several different categories: gameplay and mechanics, graphics, development, price, microtransactions, and special qualities. So let's kick things off with the meaty part of this discussion, the gameplay. The basic premise of the game and its loop is that we get 100 players, stick them in a plane, drop them on an island, and the last one left wins. Super simple to design, with a couple extra modes thrown in: duos, trios, and squads with third-person and first-person views. Starting off as an armor mod, the player movement and gunplay is pretty well polished, with inertia, hipfire, aiming down sights, and a bullet projectile system that accommodates for bullet drop and travel times over distance. All of this makes for very interesting and rewarding gunfights, whether they are at range or in close quarters. But what about the guns? Ranging from pistols to rocket launchers, there is quite the variety in PUBG. With a fairly limited but balanced modding system, we get access to extended magazines, holographic sights, suppressors, and much more. Different classes of guns require different ammos, but it isn't something as overly restrictive as a realistic setting with multiple ammunition grades. Armor is a big deal with 3 different levels of helmets and chest rigs, and backpacks also follow this leveling system, allowing for more items to be picked up and stored on your character. All of these items can be found littered around the various maps that are available in the game. There are hotspots and airdrops, but generally most things can be found everywhere. Currently there are 4 maps available in the game for all modes: Erangel, Miramar, Sandhawk, and Vikendi. Getting to the first negative point of the gameplay rating, the maps feel overly large for 100 players. This is compensated for by vehicles and promotes a loot up and survival approach, but at times you can make it to the final few left alive without seeing a single person, making you feel as though you've wasted the last 20 or so minutes. The 100 player population is sometimes supplemented with a few bots thrown around the map. The coding is very basic, and they do not provide much of a challenge whatsoever, but it does feel nice engaging in the gunplay to kill them. Classic storm circle of a battle royale, arguably the defining feature of the game, works well to limit play area and force PvP engagements, although sometimes the restrictions can be extremely far away, forcing you into a running simulator for a majority of the match. Overall, the gameplay is pretty good. The weapons and modding system works well and is very balanced. The maps are too large for too few a player count, and the storm is fairly even in terms of distance to travel. The gameplay and mechanics really hold their own here, but I don't think they really add anything new or exciting. Next up, we are going to talk about the graphics. What can you expect from PUBG in terms of visuals? Well, there's not really much to say in this category. The game is based on reality with different biomes for terrain and buildings and various makes and models of vehicles. Graphically, the design is good overall, although some of the settings can provide benefits to your gameplay by setting visuals to the lower end of the scale, can eliminate grass and bushes to give you clearer lines of sight. There's nothing that really stands out in this category, but there's also nothing that really drags down. Overall, the graphics are pretty well just okay. Development. What's happening for the game currently and in the future? Well, as of right now, there are various seasons that have been making their way over the game, and occasionally a new map has been made. Overall, this is an aspect of the game that doesn't seem to be getting too much attention. You should realistically just enjoy the game for what it is currently. Alright, so we've been over the game in a general sense. Let's check out the price and microtransactions. Coming in at around $40 Australian for the game. It's not overly priced, but it is a little bit expensive for what it offers. Then moving on to microtransactions, you can buy loot crates for real world money to get randomized weapon skins and clothing. It's not intrusive by locking in-game content behind it, and makes no real difference to gameplay overall, but loot boxes are the worst form of microtransaction, and that's going to be taking it down a few points. Lastly, let's take a look at anything that makes this game special. And well, to be candid, there's not really anything anymore. When it released, it was a one-of-a-kind game. PUBG popularized the category by being different. Today in 2021, the Battleground is not all that unique anymore, and the only thing that makes it stand out against its competitors is that it is the original Battle Royale that started the genre. Right then, we've gone through all of the relevant ratings for PUBG, so is it a good game in 2021? In my opinion, no. The gunplay is great. Getting into engagements is generally enjoyable, but the times that you spend looking for fights brings down the hype just way too much. Development is relatively slow and doesn't add all that much, if anything. It has microtransactions and nothing makes it special except a bit of nostalgia. Outside of that, the game is enjoyable from time to time, and if you can accept it for what it is, power to ya. My name's Spoon, and I hope you enjoyed the video on PUBG. Most likely won't be uploading any more videos regarding to the Battlegrounds, but feel free to check out some of my other content on the channel and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy it. Thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next one.